Okay, now, there are a few different cases, and basically, building a linear equation is all based on information you get. The first one, if you're given a slope, and we'll put rate of change, and the y-intercept. So that's part one. You're given a slope and a y-intercept. And they're not very imaginative. They'll say m is 4 and b is like -3. There's one of two equations that you're going to use. And here they are. Well, you can't really see them now. Y equals mx plus b, or y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, if you're just given an m and a b, we're going to use y equals mx plus b, because you have the two parts that are missing. Now, y is always going to be y. X is always going to be x, because we're going to be able to take any point that's on the line and take that x value, plug it in there, and that y value, plug it in there, and see if it's true. And I'll show you what I mean about, and either if we don't get it to today, we'll get it to tomorrow. Today might be just, all right, I'm going to give you this information, and then tomorrow we'll deal with it. Now, all you have to do is say, all right, I know what my m is. My m is 4. So I'm going to put 4. My x stays the same. My y stays the same. So x and y are always going to be x and y. And my b, I would say do this. Since it's a negative number, and it's plus a negative number, and then just do the rewrite, 4x minus 3. And then you can look at this and you can figure out, all right, this guy represents m, which is 4 over 1, and that guy represents my y-intercept. So be happy when you get your slope and your intercept, because then you can create the equation really easy. And now any point on that line works. You just plug it in the equation, it works. It works 100% of the time. All right, any questions on that first one? You guys are nice and quiet this morning. Well, quiet. But then again, that hasn't changed all semester. That's okay. All right, if you're given, we'll go with the most difficult one first. Given 2 points on a line. So if you want to, you can separate these two like this if you want to. If you don't, that's... Now, your example, let's give you 1, 3, and 5, 7. No, 5, 8. Let's go 5, 8. Now, if you're given 2 points, every line, here's the thing. So part A, every line needs a slope. If you think of that, every line needs slope, you're in business. M is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And since we're given 2 points, we can just take those two values and plug them in. You get to choose. You get to choose which is x1, y1, and which is x2, y2. I'm going to choose, those are my, I'm going to say these, that's x2, that's y2, and this is x1, y1. So it says y2, you subtract the y coordinates, 8 minus 3, and you subtract the x coordinates, which would be 5 minus 1. So what's 8 minus 3? 5. And then 5 minus 1 is 4. So your slope is 5/4. Kind of an ugly slope, but it is what it is. That just tells me to get from one point to the next, I'm going to go up 5 and to the right 1, or right 4, not 1. Now, part B. Pick one of the points to use as x1, y1. There are 2 points. I would always say pick the easiest one. So, like the first one, I would say, if both are positive, use it. That'd make it even easier. So for this example, I would say, all right, I'm just going to use 1, 3. So x1 is equal to 1, y1 is equal to 3. So by using the positive numbers, it's a whole lot easier when I go to part C here, and I need to use the equation y minus y1 is equal to m times x, x1. Because then it's just substitution. Substitute in your m, x sub 1, y sub 1. So my m, I know, is 5/4. So I know this guy right here is going to be 5/4, which is no fun. X, now the nice thing is when you have a positive value, you could just say, alright, that's a 1. I could just put a 1 in there. And for my y sub 1, I know y sub 1 is 3, so that guy goes in there, and there's my y. Now, believe it or not, a lot of times you can keep it like this. You could add 3 to both sides and get y is equal to 5/4 x minus 1 plus 3. Or you could actually do the distribution and get it into y equals mx plus b form, where you distribute the 5/4 and then you get to 3. I'll show you that really quick. Y is equal to, distribute this, 5/4 x minus 5/4 plus 3. Now I need to take the negative 5/4 plus something over 4. Now, how do I figure out what's going to be in the top? I have 3 of them. I have 3/4. So I'll take 3 times 4. So it's negative 5 over 4 plus 12 over 4. Well, what's 12 minus 5? 7. 7 fourths. So the equation is y is equal to 5 fourths x plus 7 fourths, which is kind of ugly. And just because there's fractions doesn't mean that it's wrong. If it's fractions, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's the process you would end up doing. Now, in your math classes, you've done a lot of simplifying, right? Haven't heard simplify this, simplify that. You don't always have to simplify. If you gave me this equation, I'd be happy, because this equation is 100% true. If you just plugged it all in, this is the linear equation for that. You could have went one step further and done this, and I would have been okay. Or you could even went to here, I would have been okay. So there are 3 correct answers. That's a correct answer, that's a correct answer, and that's a correct answer. The nice thing is when you get to calculus and stuff, you just go to here and you're on. Because we can use that. I pretty much teach this one where I kind of put, with the calculus people, I put the y plus y1 over here, just so everything is in function form. It's the same either way. It doesn't matter. Now, the third way, which is the easiest way, you're given a point and a slope. So we're going to use y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1, because this is our point slope equation, so you're going to be given a point and a slope. Say you're given m is equal to 2 and your point x1, y1 is equal to negative 1 comma 4. Until you become experts in algebra, I would always say first thing you do is start with the formula. Then go ahead and substitute in your different values. The values that we substitute in are here. It's y sub 1, it's m, and it's x sub 1. So what's my y sub 1? Is it the 2, the negative 1, or the 4? What's the only thing that corresponds to a y? 4. Since it's positive, I could just write this afterwards. If it was negative, what would I have to do to that negative sign right there? Change it to positive. Absolutely correct. Now, what's my slope? What's my m? 2. Now, my x sub 1, what's that? It's a negative 1, but there's going to be a minus there. And then I just drop down the x minus, so I get y minus 4 is equal to 2 times x plus 1. Now, that's a correct answer. But if we wanted to simplify it, we would actually say, all right, I got to take this, I got to distribute, get 2x plus 2. So 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 1 is 2. And then positive 4 is equal to positive 4. Y is equal to 2x plus 6. This is a simplified form, or it's slope-intercept form. So that just means that you're able to actually get your equation. We started with this guy, which is kind of messy and doesn't tell us a whole lot, even though this guy doesn't even tell us a whole lot right here. It does give us a point, and it does give us a slope. So it gives us a starting point and a slope, so we could go in and graph if we needed to. But this guy gives us a nice piece of information because it tells us where on the y-axis we start, and it tells us what our slope is, so it tells us how to get to the next point. And we should know that 2 points determine a line. So we draw 2 points, draw a line, you're good to go.